Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man, it's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to Cocktails, Dirty Discussions with Kiki and Medina Monroe. Yeah.
Okie doke. Today's cocktail is called Sideways Sex. The ingredients you need are pineapple juice, Tito's vodka, some ice, and a splash of strawberry lemonade. So how you're going to make this is it's very easy. You're going to grab a cocktail shaker, put in your ice, a couple shots of Tito's, a little bit of pineapple juice, a splash of strawberry, shake it up, and then pour the whole thing into a cocktail glass and enjoy Sideways Sex. Do you like Sideways Sex in real life?
I do. That's why I smiled. I was having a memory.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Why?
I don't know. It's just this weird feeling, and then like my stomach is just laying to the side, and it's like
I've been looking at that. I got plenty of stomach.
Y'all, today we have a very special guest. Welcome back to Cocktails Dirty Discussions. We have Lila from Horizontal with Lila.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Hi. Hey.
So you have a podcast about intimacy and everyone's always laying down with you when you record.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very interesting.
Do they lie in your bed or?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Travel to their beds.
Oh,
Do y'all's hands start creeping over? Do you get a little bit like
Does
touchy?
it end with sex?
I have never ended an episode in sex yet.
No. Yet. Okay.
Do you ever start to cuddle?
Definitely. That happens on most times.
Really?
Yeah, there's usually some, because we need to be right next to each other. We're already touching arms and the microphone's right above us, and we need to be as close together as we can be for our voices to be picked up equally by the mic.
How'd you come up with that concept?
So, deciding which version to tell you.
Tell us the dirtiest version.
So, in 2014, I moved into a sex-positive intentional community, which is a place where there was a lot of sex education happening, a lot of workshops, a lot of sex parties, a lot of panel discussions, and the kind of conversations that we had when we were just hanging out, lying down on the couch. We had 2 couches in the 3rd floor living room, and we would just stay up late and talk about our personal lives. And it was really deep and raw, and it was incredibly educational, but not because we were trying to teach each other, just because we were being incredibly honest. Mm-hmm. And I know that most people do not have access to those kinds of conversations. So I wanted to give people access. But I also know that lying down from my sleepover days and from, just post-coital life, I know that it changes the timbre of our voice. I know it changes what we talk about. I know it changes how we feel when we're speaking and makes it much more likely that we're going to get deep and intimate.
Love a little pillow talk.
So most of our discussion today is going to be about intimacy, because I noticed that's basically what you talk about. And I think that it's incredible. I love intimacy. But before we do that, we are going to talk about a little bit of weird sex.
And this guy is weird. So this week's weird sex.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. A man is absolutely not a necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
There are some people out here who are looking for intimacy and sex in all of the wrong places. This man literally walked 351 miles to go have sex with this girl and to see this girl he had been talking to online. Turns out she was a teenager, an underage teenager. And he got caught because he wasn't really talking to a young girl. He got met by the police and some FBI agents and ended up going to prison. But I just think it's crazy the lengths that people will go to meet someone. Like, even had she been an adult or whatever, You're going to walk 351 miles?
Well, I want to know, how long did it take him to get there?
I forget how long it took. It took a long time. He was just walking, and he would walk, and he'd stay at motels, and then he'd spend the night, and then he would get up, and he would walk some more. He had no car. He probably didn't have any money. I'm like, get a bus ticket.
I am going 351 to get miles some pussy, and I will walk.
That's several days. Like 240 is about 4-hour drive. So 350, that's ridiculous. He said he was going to see her. So hopefully next time he visits megabus.com. Wow. And find somebody who's of legal age. But that's it for Weird Sex this week. That was another submission from one of our listeners. Make sure that if you see something that you think is strange and you want me to talk about it on the show, send it to me at Kiki Said So. Okay, so
why?
Why?
Why he walked? Because
he didn't have any money.
Pilgrimage.
For real. And
it was to get some pussy, ultimately.
Yeah. I don't know if he thought that they wouldn't be able to track him if he wasn't in a car. I don't know what he thought, but he walked. I think he's probably had some mental issues. I don't know. Didn't look that deep into it. It wasn't in the story, but I just really thought that was so crazy.
Pussy
disturbing.
Is powerful.
Everybody's face is looking like, the hell? But it was on the news. Okay, so we like to play a little game with our guests. So this week we're going to play the scenario game. So we have a couple of scenarios and we're going to tell them to you and then we'll give you a couple of options. It's like multiple choice. And then you pick the one that you would most likely do.
All right.
Okay, here's the first one. You're dating a guy for a couple of months. You really like him. You bring him around your friends. He pays for everyone's dinner. And you just knew your friends would love him. They all text you right after dinner and they say, we really don't like your new bae girl. He's annoying and you could do better. You A, leave your friends on red and talk to them about it tomorrow. B, call them as soon as you get home to see if something specific happened. Maybe he offended somebody and you just didn't know it. C, break up with bae because friends are your everything.
Ooh, that's tough because I always talk about how my friends are the loves of my life. But listen, people are going to do whatever they want to do anyway. So A.
Leave your friends on red and talk to them about it tomorrow.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
We'll talk about it tomorrow, ladies.
Yeah, people. I'm gonna do if I want. I'm gonna do that, and trust that my friends will tell me later. And if they need to scrape me up off the floor because things are bad, then they'll do that too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get a little sprung.
Okay, so it's actually only one scenario, and the other two are would you rather. Okay, the second one is would she like better sex in your bed or whoever's bed, whoever you're fucking, their bed, your bed or their bed.
Really depends on the bed, Do they have a high quality bed? Can I grab the 4 posts of this bed? Does it have amazing soft sheets?
This sounds like you have an amazing quality bed, and so you would rather fuck in your bed. I am not mad at that.
My mattress is amazing, but in New York, I live in a tiny little room because it's New York. And my bed is lofted. So there is no standing. There is no, you know what I mean? Even kneeling is like dicey.
You can't even sit up. You might bust your head and have a concussion.
Can you imagine falling off? Have you fallen off your bed?
Somebody
like, is it far distance?
I have not fallen off my bed, but I did slip on the way up once.
Ooh.
I screamed like I have never heard myself scream before. 3 of my housemates came running. Whew. It was scary.
Do you like sex in your bed or somebody else's bed?
Whoever's bed is nicer. So it's usually their bed. And it's like, I don't have to be the one changing sheets. I don't have to worry about any of that. If I'm lazy and I don't change the sheets, I don't have to smell you when you're gone. Like, I can just, go back to my life.
Hi. So, I do want to say my bed because I would really love it if... I love to sleep alone. Like, I want really good sex, and then I want them to leave.
Really?
Why?
Because I can't sleep when people touch me.
You can't sleep when people touch you?
Oh, wow. I can't. I think I sleep better.
I like it. It depends on the person, but most of the time I like being cuddled up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about legs intertwined and interlocked.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I
Yeah.
can do that.
She's looking
for
at us
one
like y'all are
time.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
then I'm like, please go over there and don't touch me so I can sleep.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, last one. Which do you like better? Quick, rough sex or long, intimate lovemaking?
Neither. Long, intimate fucking.
I feel you.
Explain. Like, you like it rough, like long, pulling hair. We're getting rough with it.
So absolutely. Yes. I want my hair pulled. I want to be spanked. I want to be thrown around. I want to be wrestled. I want to, yes, yes. But it takes time to ramp up to something like that. And I want to start slow. The best sex I've ever had started incredibly slow. So there was an anticipation that was building and I can build to a place where my ability to receive intensity is pretty powerful, pretty strong, right? But I can't just like, there's no fucking way that we're gonna just get to it like that, and it's not gonna. Have you ever had vaginal fissures?
Yes.
Vaginal what?
Like little tears.
Fissures, little tears when you are not lubricated enough and you receive some penetration.
It hurts.
It creates something that feels like paper cuts on your vulva.
I've never had that.
It's fucking horrible. And if I am not wet enough, I will get that. So I need time. I need it to build, and then we can build to some intensity, and then I want some aftercare. I want some other stuff, right? I don't want
like, what do you like for aftercare?
For aftercare? My favorite, and has always been my favorite, is super light fingertips all over my body, almost not touching the skin, almost just touching the hair. This will give me chills all over. I feel so taken care of and sensual.
I see you are using that imagination. I really like when people do those light touches and nibbles on my collarbones. It's something about my collarbone area that it literally, like,
I like that. My neck, the back of my knees, the inside of my, like these little pockets.
Yeah.
I guess because the skin is so thin right there, it just feels good. And it's like so sensitive right there. I like it.
I'm gonna have to try. I never had the back of a knee or a crease.
Yes, if you're lying down, maybe they lift your leg up and just start kissing like your leg, and they kiss the back of your knee and then kiss the inside of your thigh. It feels good.
I'm gonna have to try that this
incredibly
weekend.
intimate too, because when else does someone touch the inside of your elbow or the back of your knee? Those are parts of you that are
Nobody's
not considered
touching.
erogenous, but they do not get touched.
It's just
So
like your booty hole. I keep trying to tell you that. Let that thing get touched.
I did. I listened to you. I let it get touched, and everything is not for everybody. Now I can handle a finger. Definitely can handle a tongue, but anything bigger than that, like, no. I think everything down there is it's not the right size. I don't know if the growth got stunted or what, but I don't like really big penises. I think that my vaginal canal is shallow, so I don't like them to be. They can be girthy, but they can't be too long. And she convinced me to have anal sex. It was a horrible.
I thought I was looking out.
Mistake.
Lila, you don't like
I appreciate it. She tried to coach me through it. She gave me tips. It's just.
Yeah,
Nope.
I've only had it once, and I've only been digitally penetrated with a finger once, I think, and it isn't what I want. Like, it doesn't feel good. Like the sensation is not one that I interpret as pleasure, and I'm all about pleasure. So
I feel you, girl. I mean, I don't feel you, but I feel you.
Yeah.
But tongue's great.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to get to know you a little bit before we get into talking about intimacy. So you have a podcast. You're in Bali. Please tell us why you're in Bali and how long you've been there, because I'm jealous. I want to go there so bad.
All right. I've been here since the end of January.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
The truth is that I was fucking depressed November and December in New York. New York winters are really hard. And I have seasonal affective disorder. So winter comes around and I just like, and it got so bad that I wasn't even releasing the podcast anymore. And I was just like, I don't want to do anything. There's nothing I want to do except go to Bali. So
To Bali.
I got a ticket for Bali. And I had been saving to come to Bali some frequent flyer miles, so I knew I had that taken care of. And I had some friends who'd recently been here, so I knew I would be connected.
Mm-hmm. Have you still been recording your podcast in Bali, or do you work another job? Like what?
I've been recording here.
You have?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I've got my equipment.
When are you coming back?
Girl, I don't know.
So you might just live in Bali.
I don't
like
think
when
so.
people do something like this, I'm always curious to know, like, did you get someone to just like, did you sublease your apartment or?
So initially I did, right? And then there was a fucking global pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's a lockdown and I couldn't do that. So now there is somebody renting my room,
mm-hmm.
and that gives me a little leeway. But, it might turn out that I need to move out remotely. Like that might happen. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this huge question mark unknown,
Oh, wow.
I don't know how long I'm going to be here. It does not feel like a good idea. Also, it would be incredibly expensive at this point and very difficult to get home.
Mm-hmm.
But it does not feel like a good idea to go back to New York right now. And maybe not even for, I don't know, a year. I don't know how long it's going to take to feel like it's an okay place to be. I don't know. So
That's scary.
It's like paradise prison.
Have you been dating in Bali?
Yeah.
Do you have a sex life in Bali?
I don't. I'm sorry to tell you, ladies.
Did you
that
pack toys?
sex in 8 months. I did not pack toys.
Do you not like
What
sex?
are you doing? Your fingers?
Fingers. Yeah, I don't like vibrators. I don't actually really use toys. I do have an Enjoy. The curved one, the stainless steel one. I do have an Enjoy, but I didn't bring it. It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Way down your bags. Yeah.
And I was thinking about my luggage weight.
So are you just not having sex right now for are you on a journey to clear your mind, or you just haven't met any prospects, or
you just got in Bali and stayed there too long?
So basically, I'm not attracted to 95% of the men here. They're like good vibes only, long hair, no deodorant wearing people. And I'm not into that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not into that. It's not gonna do it for me. And I've met maybe 2 or 3 men that I've been attracted to, and they are not interested in me. I'm just striking out here in Bali. It's like not a good place for my sex life.
Damn.
I would have to find somebody.
I can't do it. I can't do it if I'm not into it. I just cannot do it. I can't get wet. I can't get turned on. I just can't. I can't do it anymore.
I
can do those fishers again.
One of my talents is that I was literally just telling one of my close girlfriends this, Cola, the other day. My pussy gets so wet. Like, even if I just start kissing you, even if I don't want to have sex with you, if something crosses my mind and I think about something sexual, my pussy gets wet as fuck. Like, you will think that I really like you. And that might not even really be the case. It's just a talent, I guess.
You know what I call that?
What?
Lucky.
I was about to say this. Do I have a disorder? What's wrong with me?
Just really
No, I
hydrated.
think you're just lucky. I think also recently in an episode you said you thought there might be something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with being a highly sexual person. Nothing at all.
I think that might have been you that said
I don't
that.
think there's nothing wrong with having a lot of sex.
Well, you said you thought you had a problem in the group text the other day. You said, I think this is a problem. I said, I
don't think it's
healthy.
wrong. Well, I didn't talk about that on the show. I don't think it's a problem having a lot of sex, but I do think it's a problem when it starts to invade my thoughts whenever like I should be focusing on something else. Like I know I have these other projects that I've been working on, and I found myself thinking about sex instead of like working on my shit. Like stop masturbating, put the toys away. You need to focus on stuff. But as far as actually having sex, no, I enjoy that a lot. A lot. And but I get what you're saying about not meeting people who you're attracted to. So it's like you go through a drought, because sometimes that happens for me too. You know?
I'm just not that attracted to that many people. And so it happens that the percentage of time that I'm attracted to someone and they are available to have sex with me can be low. Right? Because if you're not attracted to that many humans, a lot of them are going to be taken. A lot of them are going to be unavailable, you know? So
and you need to have mutual attraction for it to work.
Have you used any dating apps out there?
I tried. When I first got here, I tried.
What you use?
I tried
OkCupid
and Tinder. And the guys that I found who I found attractive were living in Canggu, which is just this horrible place. It's sort of like if Miami were in the meatpacking district. Does that mean anything to you? Okay. So it's like the beach culture with the self-obsession and the fitness and the ego of Miami in the snobbery and the so worldly and clubby of the meatpacking district in New York.
Okay. Yeah, so, just a whole bunch of things that you don't like.
A whole bunch of things I don't like. Yeah, the men were there, and I didn't wind up meeting anybody, and nothing went anywhere. There was a lot of people just falling off of the text chain, and it just didn't feel good. And then I actually made a decision about a month and a half into being here that I had been pursuing men my whole life. Like whatever I want, I would go after. Any man I wanted, I would pursue. And I decided that I wasn't going to pursue anymore. So I'm not doing any
pursued.
Do you only date men?
I have had a little bit of play with women, but I've never dated a woman. So yeah.
Would you?
I would consider it if I was attracted to someone.
So you're open. So it's funny because I have on here, tell us a little bit about your podcast and your sex life, but you basically just told us that your sex life is absent right now and has been for 8 months. But before it was absent, do you prefer being dominant during sex? I kind of feel like you do.
No, I don't.
No. What type of sex you be liking?
Oh, I prefer being submissive. I don't want to have to think about it. I want you to just know and move my body around and yes, just take over, please, so I don't have to think.
Physically, what's your type?
I like Vikings.
Vikings?
Yeah. Tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
Okay.
Strong, can pick you up and throw you over their shoulder. Vikings.
That was so like to the point. Like you didn't like.
It was like a little Vikings. Delayed reaction. Like, wait a minute, she just said Viking.
You ask me what my type is when I look at men. When you know, when I'm like, ooh, meow, then it's that. Now, what happens in real life?
Sometimes you don't always get what you want. Lately, I've been meeting men, and they're not always what I physically want, but they are fun and really great in bed.
There's also plenty of men who look like I think I might want them, and then I get close to them and I smell them, and I'm not interested.
What do they smell like? Onions?
Bad. They just don't smell right to me. Pheromones are a thing. Yeah, it has to be compatible. And I'm a super smeller, so it's a sense that's really developed in me. And so if somebody smells bad to me, I can't do it.
I just got back from a road trip, literally. Just got back from driving from Texas, had to drop my brother off, have my dog with me, came here. I'm so glad you can't smell me right now. I smell like a road trip and a puppy. If you were here, I would be dipping out the door because I would be embarrassed. Lila, have you ever been to a sex party? And did you participate?
Sex parties, yes.
What did you think of them?
Well, they're all so different, and there's so many of them that I've been to, and I've also been in many capacities, right?
Okay.
So the first party I went to, I was giving Thai massage for tips, so I was working, and I did a few of those like that, and then the second one that I went to like that, I played, and I went into the playroom, and a guy went down on me, and that was amazing because I was watching this beautiful woman get fucked, and I was being pleased, and I was like, this is incredible. So I loved that. And then I have been to a lot of sex parties at the house that I was part of the organizing team. So I decided on the theme and the decoration, and I've been to sex parties where I led the orientation. So I taught people how to be at a sex party, people who had never been to a sex party before.
Can you tell us how you should be? Because I've been to sex clubs before and felt uncomfortable. Like literally like walked in and walked out. Just because not because the people made me feel uncomfortable, but because I didn't really know how to be. Let's say you go by yourself.
Like how to like interact with people.
Yeah, like the etiquette, I guess.
Well, I've never been to a sex club, but I've been to many. Well, that's not true. I've been to NSFW, and that's
sex party.
That's in New York, right? I've heard of that one, I think. Okay.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot of media coverage. They're extremely media savvy, so you've definitely heard of them.
Is that the one
I heard about them on a podcast
to get in?
What'd you say?
Is that the one where you have to send a headshot to get in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're interested in having hot people only.
I get it. Because sometimes you go to them little sex parties, you be like...
Yeah, I've been to a sex club twice.
Though.
True. That is true. But when I went, I was just like, all right. I probably felt like how you feel in Bali. I wasn't attracted to anyone. No one was my type. And it was just like, okay, well, I'm just here. Let me just try and enjoy the buffet. And the bar.
Was the food good?
I ate a piece of bacon and that's it because I didn't realize it was breakfast. I don't really like breakfast. So I drank and I enjoyed my cocktails.
Well,
lots of tequila.
Sex clubs are opening back up this weekend, according to Baller Alert.
Are you going?
No, girl.
Oh.
And one of them is NSFW.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't know how you're going to, a lot of the different companies have to stick to these COVID-19 policies and regulations. And I don't know how you could stay 6 feet away from somebody in a sex club or even Oak Atlanta. They open, like a lot of clubs open back up. I'm like,
a lot of clubs are open. I'm just like, okay. Well.
Like, okay.
So just fuck the rules. What's the point of all of that?
Yeah.
You're not
just
gonna...
be like, hey, come at your own risk. If you die, if you get it, that's on you.
Do you experience stress or have anxiety or maybe chronic pain? Or do you have trouble sleeping at least once a week? You are not alone. Many of us do. I have been feeling a lot of anxiety. There is so much pressure from all of the new projects that I have, from the projects that I've already had, getting things together, dealing with technical issues every week, day in, day out. There's something, and it's really been increasing my anxiety. And when I'm having these flare-ups of intense anxiety, it makes it even harder to do my job. It makes it harder for me to live my best life and be happy and just be me. I was searching for anything that would help, and I really wanted to go about it the most natural way possible. I've gotten in the gym, started working out more, and while that feels good, I was still feeling stressed. I was still feeling anxious, and then I started having muscle problems. I'm having joint issues. My sciatica is flaring up again. So many things were going wrong. Then I discovered Feels. Feels is a premium CBD product that is delivered directly to your doorstep. Feels naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. Now, I haven't taken enough for it to be effective for my sleeplessness, but I will say that I'm not feeling as sore. If I take a little bit in the morning, I'm able to really focus, knock out my tasks for the day, but with a calming effect. It doesn't make me feel super hyped up like I would on coffee. And it's a new feeling, but it's a calming, focused feeling, if that makes sense to you guys. Feels is super easy to take. You just place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes. The thing to remember about CBD is that finding your right dose is important, and everyone's dose is different. So leave room to experiment over the course of about a week or so. You may need to take more or less to get the effects that you're after. If you're new to CBD, Feels offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience. Feels works naturally to help you feel better. There's no high, there's no hangover, and most importantly, no addiction. Join the Feels community to get Feels delivered to your door every month. You'll save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel at any time. Feels has me feeling my very best every day, and it can help you too. As a matter of fact, I want you to go ahead and become a member today by going to feels.com/cocktails, and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's FEALS.com/cocktails, COCKTALES, to become a member and get 50% off automatically, and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feals.com/cocktails.
Well, that's the thing, is that people are gonna do it regardless, right? They're not gonna keep distant. Like, there's no way. After being cooped up like this, people are not gonna be good with the rules. They're just gonna go crazy, you know? What they're doing there is you can only play with the person that you came with, and they're doing temperature checks. It's really tricky, right? Because we're not going to stay indoors forever. So
True.
What happens when things start to open is I think it's going to be a play at your own risk kind of thing. It's going to be a risk assessment. Like, everywhere you go is going to be a risk assessment for you. And, you know, if you're going to then go home and hang out with your grandma, you're going to need to think about that.
Facts. What
your personal comfort level is with that. And that's the thing, right? If it were just you, if it were just me, I would, whatever. I'm not concerned. I'm not worried. But I actually quarantined here for 5 weeks, the way that people are quarantining in New York, which not a lot of people did here, because I thought there's a family that owns the compound where I live, and I live in one of their apartments, and they have elderly people. And I thought, well, I can't be bringing anything, like unknowingly carrying, because that's what people in our age group are doing, unknowingly carrying this to other people. Yeah. And that, you know, that's the age range of that sex club as well. But how many precautions are people actually going to take? Even if you got a COVID-19 test the day before, you could then walk into a grocery store and get it. So it's like, you can't guard against everything.
Yeah, true. You can't. But what you can guard against is intimacy. That wasn't a good segue. But... I'm curious to know, how important do you think intimacy is in your relationships?
I think we got to talk about intimacy. And the way that I use intimacy is it's the umbrella for everything that is intimate, which includes sex and romance and family and friendships and mentorships and business partnerships and co-podcasterships. It includes all of that. So it's everything. Intimacy is everything.
So before we dive in, I just wanted to let everybody know there are a couple different types of intimacy. So there's experimental intimacy, which an example of that is when people bond during leisure activity. So it might not be sex. There's emotional intimacy, when people feel safe sharing their feelings with each other, even uncomfortable ones. So that is something where it could be like a business partnership or a friendship or something like that. Not always sex and a romantic relationship. There's intellectual intimacy, when people feel comfortable sharing ideas and opinions, even when they disagree. And then there's sexual intimacy, which we really really want to talk about today. When people engage in sensual or sexual activities, when people use the word intimacy, they're often referring to this type. And then I added in virtual intimacy just because of everything we're going through right now. And I know I've been doing a lot of virtual nasty things.
But I was like, where's she going with this?
Virtual sex. If you're counting that, I have had some video sex, and I did attend a virtual sex party since I've been here. So if you're counting that, and I hope we do actually, because our definition of sex is really narrow, and it's not helping anybody to have such a narrow definition of sex.
Do you like phone sex? Like the FaceTime, like with a video?
Oh yeah, I love it.
When's the last time you did it?
2 months ago, a month and a half ago, something like that. Oh no, maybe less.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. You know how I used to say I am not with the phone sex.
She used to say that. I'd be like, just try it. It's like kind of fun, especially if like the person isn't there, or even if like, I think even if you're in town with somebody, but you know, sometimes you don't really want the commitment of we're about to hang out and be together and all of that. I just want to have a 3-minute thing.
3 minutes.
I like it. I mean, like I can send a video. You can send a video. When I'm masturbating, it only takes me a couple minutes and I'm done. And then I can roll over and go to bed or watch Queen Sugar or whatever else I'm going to do.
Now, see, I'm not into the video thing. Like I might send a little boomerang or something, but the video thing makes me nervous. However, FaceTime, or if they don't have an iPhone, Google Duo, I love some FaceTime sex. Like I literally have been doing that a lot.
What do you like more about the FaceTime versus sending a video?
I think that I like that it's live. It makes me feel like I have an OnlyFans account. I can prop the phone up and like put the phone right in my vagina. He can like literally tell me exactly what he wants to see. And that just turns me on.
So that is interactive.
It's interactive. Okay. It's like OnlyFans.
I also don't want it to be quick, even when it's FaceTime sex, right? Like I like to edge.
You like to what?
Edge.
What is edge?
So you bring yourself just before the point of orgasm, just before the point of no return, and then you cool it down so you can build and build a few times, and then the crescendo is enormous.
Oh no, I can't do that. I need to get it out. You like to edge?
Sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I was having sex, it doesn't matter when, but I was having sex with this guy and, he said that he wanted to use a toy while he was fucking me. So I was like, okay. So he would like use it and then I would like try to push him away. Like, okay, this is getting too good. And he would stop the toy and then just surprise me and start using it again. And it was just so intense when I finally came. It was great.
Yes. I also love surprise, right? That's really what I love about sex is sensation play.
Yeah.
So I want to be surprised. I want to have a caress followed by a spank. I want to be scratched followed by a soft kiss. Like that is so good for me. I want my system to be on high alert because what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You know?
I love sex wounds. Don't you
love sex what?
I love sex wounds.
Oh, I don't know if I love them, but I don't mind them. It's just like, well, whatever. Like, especially if there's a good memory attached to it, a good feeling. Usually mine are embarrassing or it's like, I don't know why I have these random bruises on my body.
Like you fell off the bed or something?
No, I don't know how I get them. Probably running into like coffee tables and maybe just being too rough. I bruise very easily. So I typically have lots of bruises all down my legs, but it's just like, well, whatever, you know, it was fun getting it. I
like the memory of that. And that's part of kink play as well is people might, it's not everybody obviously, but people might create something that you're going to feel tomorrow at work. So you remember them.
I love that. And some people can create a feeling that you might feel for the rest of the month because your body is that sore.
Do you ever like send a picture like, oh my God, look at this. Look at my ass cheek and this bruise that you left and send it to them?
No, I've never done that.
Do it and see what it says.
See, I don't.
And that starts a good sexting conversation. Or, you know, whatever kind of wound, if you can see it. Or you can just tell him if it's not like something you can see.
Yeah. Like you ripped my
yeah. Like I'm so sore.
We're all thinking about it. I'm sitting here like, well.
Do you know what this ice pack is for?
So we
okay. Intimacy, my bad.
Intimacy.
We're track.
Intimacy.
It's interesting because I feel like I was thinking about intimacy and I was like, does intimacy really matter? And I was thinking about it in all of my relationships, in my friendships, in my work life, family, obviously romance and sex. And I noticed I need to be able to have some type of connection for this to be a good flowing relationship, no matter what it is. You know how sometimes, just how we were just talking, you were like, I can't have like a quickie. Mm-hmm. There have been times when I have had like a quick one night stand quickie, and it's just because the connection that we had instantly, that's happened to me a lot in my life, where that intimacy is brought to the table very quickly. Like I see you in the club or I see you at a bar, we lock eyes, and there is just this intimate connection that has been made without even a conversation yet. And so then when the conversation happens, it's like, oh my gosh. And then you touch me and then I'm like, oh shit. And then we have sex and it's like a whole relationship. That has literally been how most of my relationships start, and they're full of intimacy. So I'm curious to know, are most of your relationships intimate? Like, do you have a lot of intimacy in your relationships? Sexual. We don't need to talk about friends.
Oh, so you're talking about just that one. You named 4 types of intimacy. You're talking about the one, right?
Yeah. Since we are sexual, we don't got that much time.
So I don't have sex unless there's sexual intimacy. That's what I was telling you before. Like I'm not going to do it. If I'm not into it, if I don't feel it, I won't do it. I'm not in my early 20s anymore. I don't do that shit. I don't want to. When they leave, I don't want to be like, ugh.
What did I do?
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's not fun.
It's horrible. Also, I wanted to talk about the sexual orientation demisexual. Have you heard of that?
No.
I have, but I don't know what it is. Can't remember.
Demisexual is when somebody needs a connection, and usually an emotional connection, in order to feel aroused. So there are people who are like that, who actually just can't get turned on until they have the emotional connection. Now, I'm like a gray demisexual. I'm like sort of on the spectrum, because it doesn't have to be emotional. And it also is not about time, because like you, Medina, I can meet someone and be like, this is it. We are in it. I'm into it. Or it can be an intellectual connection. There has to be some kind of connection for me to want it. Otherwise, I just don't want it.
Yeah, I understand.
Do you need intimacy, Kiki?
Yes. But different kinds. It just kind of depends. Like with me and sex, I think it's important that I feel comfortable to, if it's like a just sex thing, like we're just fuck buddies, there may not be like a deep emotional connection. We're not using a lot of verbal communication, but we do need to feel comfortable enough with each other to where we're not shy to touch and not shy to feel each other and not shy to like physically be close, because sometimes that can be a thing too. And that's really important to me when it comes to the sexual intimacy, just being able to physically be close. It's a bonus if there's more than that and we're able to use our words too, but it's not a requirement. I don't always see words.
So when you say like friends with benefits, which I'm pretty sure we've all had, do you think that fuck, my whole mind just went. Don't you hate when you have something?
It's been a long day.
Like I had it in the oven.
Okay, so friends with yeah.
What does sexual intimacy mean to both of you? Because I think it means something different to everybody.
I think for me, sexual intimacy means that we are able to connect on another level. You know what I need, what my body needs, and I know what your body needs, and it almost just comes natural. You don't have to ask me any questions, and I don't have to ask you any questions.
But what's the other level? Isn't that
what do you mean?
Sexual level?
Like when you say you guys can connect on another level, what is the connection that you're?
Are we talking about sexual intimacy?
She's asking what you mean, like what your idea of sexual intimacy is, because everybody has a different idea. So when you say another level, is it like?
I think it's you can take my body out of this world, like my mind, my soul. It's literally, like you said, for me, it's not time. It's like you can just take my body and my spirit and my mind to a whole nother level. I don't know what the level is. For me, it's hard to explain it. It's a feeling.
So you need to feel, in order to feel sexually intimate, you need to feel transcendence. You need to feel like there's something more than two bodies in a room. There's something else. There's something energetic, or there's something
transcended.
cosmic.
That was the best way to describe. I need to feel transcended. Thanks, Lila.
You're welcome, baby.
For me, I think the intimacy it's like if I feel comfortable, I guess, if I feel at ease, if I feel relaxed and I feel open, and it needs to be that, plus it needs to be in a sexual nature. So whatever we're talking about, ideally it would be something that would arouse me, or it doesn't even have to be something that would arouse me, but yeah, hopefully we're going down that lane. And I want to, as far as touch goes, I want to feel aroused. I want to feel closer to you. Like, I don't need a friendly, like, church hug, embrace, like, hold me tight, squeeze me a little bit. I really want to be very close. The words, I want you to say things that make me feel good, that make me feel confident. Not like, oh, you're so smart, but, some nastier things. That's intimate to me. Once we reach that level, I'm very bad. Very bad with the words. That's why I'm like, okay, the physical thing is my thing, but like they tell me things. I can't think of an example, but if I think of one, I'm going to say it. I'll probably blurt it out like I have Tourette's or something. But it's important for me to feel those things so that I feel comfortable. If I don't, I may have fucked you once, twice, maybe 3 times. But after that, it won't happen again. Probably never call you again, because it's like I try to give people chances, because sometimes you don't get it that first time. When you do, that's great. Fireworks, right? But sometimes it does take time for me to build up to a good level of intimacy, sexual intimacy for me. You said that, it's important for you to have that emotional connection. I get that. I think sometimes I have multiple personalities or something. No. Yeah. No, you don't. You don't need an emotional connection?
No, I need some kind of connection.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes it is purely animalistic, physical, fuck me, oh my God, bodies. Like, your body feels so good in my body. I just want like more of your body. Sometimes it's just physical, but that feels connected, because if the pleasure is really free flowing, that means that person is listening. Their body's listening to my body. So I feel connected to them.
Can you feel connected, or can you get intimate with someone without kissing them? I was talking to one of my girlfriends last weekend, and she told me how, like, when she has sex with people, she doesn't want to kiss. Ever. And I was just like, unless she's in love. And I was just like, I don't know how somebody can, whether it's a one night stand, you my whole boyfriend, we just met each other. We need to be kissing. Like, I can't start anything without kissing. If I don't, I kind of feel like a sex worker.
Yeah. So you're asking me if I can get sexually intimate without kissing?
Without kissing. Let's say you're in a moment with a man and he doesn't want to kiss you.
Fuck no. Kissing has to happen.
I don't have to kiss.
You don't?
Mm-mm. I mean, I prefer it, but I don't have to. Like, certain men, I don't want to kiss them, and I won't.
You don't want to kiss them?
What makes you not want to kiss someone?
I kissed them before. I didn't like the way they kissed, but I like the way that they had. The rest of the sex is fine.
Wow.
You can kiss something else, but I don't need you to kiss my mouth. I don't really like how you kiss. Yeah, and I can do it without it. But it's like, I can never date you. Like, it'll just be sex. Like, it couldn't be deeper than the physical part of sex.
I'm trying to think of a time when somebody wasn't a good kisser and yet they were a good lay, and I don't think I can think of one.
I only know one.
Okay. It sounds
So
like
no, it's not common. This is one time, one specific person who I'm thinking of, but it's whatever.
Okay.
I have the other ones that we can kiss a lot.
So you have an anomaly, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's
but
happened.
not in a good way. Mm-hmm. Not at all. And then I have had conversations with friends where they feel like, okay, if they kiss somebody that they're just sleeping with, it makes it too close. I'm like, well, you're already fucking them. What? Now you want to draw the line at kissing? I don't.
That's pretty woman shit. I'm not. I don't know. Yes,
it's
you're already
weird to me. It's like, if you don't like kissing, okay. But if you like kissing and you don't want to do it because this man isn't your boyfriend, that's always just kind of weird to me.
He's putting his cock in your pussy, so
And we might have a baby.
hello?
Or you can use condoms.
It could break.
Oh, yes.
Do you have children?
No, and I never plan to.
Same.
I have never once in my life felt the desire to have children. I like to nurture adults.
I like to nurture adults. I will nurture my dog. Okay, I guess should we move on to Indecisive Diane?
Sure.
So we're going to move on to Indecisive Diane, and when we come back, we will have Lila help us with some advice.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
Okay, Diane, what cute date idea do you have for us this week?
Hey, ladies. Okay, so listen, there's this place. It's called Slim and Husky's Pizzeria. You are gonna love it if you go here. It's so cute. They play nothing but hip hop and R&B. Their pizza is to die for. I don't even like beer, but their beer is good.
What did you have when you went?
I had the smoke and herb pizza. Oh my God. It has white sauce. It has smoked salmon. You can get smoked chicken. It's amazing. It's to die for.
I think I've heard of it. Is it black owned?
Yes, it's black owned, literally on Howell Mill. Here's the address. It's 1016 Howell Mill Road, Atlanta, Georgia. They open at 12 p.m. I think they close around 8. You're going to love it. Thanks, Diane. No problem, ladies. Bye.
Oh, wait, but just can I tell you that I have a character called Gertrude, and Gertrude is very similar to Indecisive Diane.
Oh my God.
I just wanted you to know.
I wish I would have known that.
Part of my life. What?
I love it.
I'm sorry, did you say something? Okay, well.
I love it.
Okay, so now we're back and it's time for advice. Remember, if you would like us to answer any of your questions, email them to us at askcocktails@gmail.com. That's askcocktails@gmail.com. Do you have one pulled up?
I do.
Okay.
So this one says, should I give him a chance? ? She says, hey ladies. So I'm a highly sought after beautiful 27-year-old woman who has learned the true power of the pussy in the last year. I have a strong team right now built with men of all kinds, uses and levels who each keep me at my best because they are in their mid-30s and are of high quality. One of the men is fine as hell, and he knows it. Unfortunately, we only have sex and nothing else. He would be described as the guy who you two mentioned is a dick demon in Atlanta. I think it's voodoo dick.
Mm-hmm.
Getting women to fall in love with his peen so he can pay them dust. I used to be salty, but now I don't blame him. LOL. I would like to know what you guys think is the best way to go about dealing with one of these guys. Like, what is the end game? Find the very best woman possible or stay a player forever until he settles with a good doormat. My question is really about my least favorite guy who that was a whole other question. Okay. My question
I'm
is
going to forget.
I'm gonna forget too. You want to answer that part and then I continue?
Ask that question again. I already forgot.
She wants to know what do you think is the best way of dealing with a voodoo dick type of dude?
Use him for the dick and that's it.
Boundaries.
Yeah,
you gotta have boundaries with something like that, because otherwise you can get emotionally involved. You're gonna get hurt. He's not gonna give you anything. There's a couple kinds of womanizers, right? There's the lyrical womanizer who's like looking for this ideal woman, and all the women come up short, and for that man nobody's ever gonna be good enough. And there's the epic womanizer who just loves women, and so there's nothing that can displease him because variety is what turns him on. And you're also not going to snag that one either. That one's not going to be monogamous.
Even if the womanizer, even if voodoo dick gets married, I feel like he gonna cheat on the wife.
Yeah, I mean, my voodoo dick already told me, like, it doesn't matter.
You
think y'all don't know who that is, but yeah. And I was like, okay, now hold on, we do have some boundaries. But yeah, you can't be stalking this person. You can't get too invested in their life. You can talk to them and you can have conversations, and you probably can't handle it, but if you can handle it, you can check. Like you can check in on them, and be like, "Hey, how you doing? You know, I thought about you today." But I know what I do. It always goes back to sex. Stay focused. If this is somebody you're fucking, always bring the conversation back to sex. You don't call them and ask about their mother.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell them happy birthday?
You can tell them happy birthday and then ask for a dick pic or something, you know, or reminisce about fucking him, or invite him over to fuck, or go over to his house or something like that. I just would always bring it back to sex, because you're going to forget. You're already caught up because you wrote us a letter.
A letter, girl. I guess you can't be going on dates.
Reel it back in.
So then her second question is really about my least favorite guy who happens to have deep pockets and is head over heels for me. He doesn't have the looks, body, or swag of guy number one, but he loves to spend and wants to give me the world, especially since we were friends before the money. He thinks I'm perfect, does whatever I ask, and jumps at the chance to spend time together. My sisters advised me that he is a keeper. I haven't even let him touch me yet. Am I tripping? Should I wife him up now or keep playing the field? I'm afraid to fully settle for a while, but I feel like I should have a plan and know my long game. I do feel annoyed and discouraged at times because I'm not sexually attracted to him like I am number one. But I do know that number one isn't fully my fairy tale type. His dick is, and his mind, but I feel deep down he would never love me the way Deep Pockets does, or even court me for that matter. Everyone thinks I'm nuts for loving number one so much. For loving number one so much, but I can't help it. He just does it for me though. Our chances of ending happily ever after are slim to none. What would you guys do? Remember that I'm young. Keep a good balance, have fun, and see where things go, like I have been. Or give Deep Pockets the time and attention he's been chasing me for, and treated me like a queen instead of chasing the heart of lucky player number one. Girl, you know what you should do. You literally just said it. Leave number one alone.
Leave the other one.
Leave number two alone. Leave Deep Pockets alone.
Mm-hmm. You're going to make Deep Pockets miserable, and he doesn't deserve that. So you need to leave him the fuck alone.
You're about to take advantage. All you said about him was he was your friend first, and now he has money, and he didn't have it before. And yeah, but you're talking about you love this man who wouldn't even court you, but you know the other one would, but you're still battling between the two. You don't want Deep Pockets. Send Deep Pockets to info@kikisaidso.com. And then you go on and you go talk to, the first one that you're in love with, and see how that goes. And good luck to you and good luck to me.
Good luck to both of y'all. It always happens like that, though. Bitches always want to fall for the one that you know you don't need to fall for. And then the guy who's going to treat you right, you don't even want him texting you. You're annoyed.
Yeah, so I think you should leave the one alone. I mean, it could be, or she could just really not be interested in him, and she's trying to seek a come up.
She likes what he has to offer.
But always going for the number one guy.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that's self-sabotage, and it comes from not feeling good enough. So you're going to chase after somebody who's never going to give you what you want because you don't think you actually deserve what you really want from the person you want.
That could be it. I feel like a lot of times with me is the number ones normally be fine as fuck. And I'm starting to learn that I truly don't care about looks. And sometimes you see these gorgeous men with great sex that don't treat you right. And you just fall for it because they look so good. I'm
like
learning
a spell.
it's like a spell. I'm really learning how to not do that because you will have your heart broken. I can't deal with voodoo dick type people. I'll have my heart broken and I'll be sad sitting in the bathtub. So I've been really trying to dig a little bit deeper and learn a little bit more about people before I fall, because I'll be sprung. Lila, I will be sprung.
Are you really, Medina, able to look at a man, find him ugly or find him unattractive, and see underneath to the possibility of being sexually attracted to him and being in a relationship with him? I mean, I would love to say that I can do that. And I do have a friend who can do that. And she's one of the most gorgeous women I've ever met. I'm actually going to connect you to her because she would be an amazing guest. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. She's able to look past the exterior, really. And
I think it's hard to do. I think with those situations, at least in my experience, it takes more time. They do start off as friends. Because because I wouldn't look at you that way because I wasn't physically attracted to you initially. So it's like I would never even think of you in that boat. But then it's like, okay, you can get to know somebody and then maybe you can look past their funny looking mouth or something.
Unless you have a connection with them and you do just look. I just recently had something like that happen where like the dude was funny. Okay. And something really funny. And it was like all of a sudden
when you
it
first
was
met
like,
him, you got to experience the funny. Okay.
Got to experience like him as a person. And it wasn't like I walked in and it was just saw something. You know, sometimes you see somebody fine and you're just like, oh my God, he's fine. I don't care about nobody else in the room. It wasn't like that.
Like,
yes.
Come here.
So sometimes somebody's personality can snatch that soul.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. You have an advice
but
for that?
I still want to look at them. You know what I mean? I don't want to be closing.
You don't want to be scared in the middle of the night. Right.
Lila said, look.
I said what I said.
I said what I said.
Okay, next one. This one says 18 and underappreciated. Help. Okay. Hey guys, my name, I'm not going to say it. I'm 18 and I have made something of myself. I work at a really good job. I have my own car and I recently just moved into my own place. I'm living my best life. However, I have a boyfriend that is 21. He's a college student still living at his parents' house. And he stays posted up in my crib, like literally all day. At first, I was like, there's nothing wrong with some in-house dick. Plus, I enjoyed his company. Next time, I need you to proofread this. Okay. You know how it is living alone and being lonely. But here's the thing. He isn't paying any bills or putting up anything towards the household needs when he's basically living here rent-free. Mind you, he does work, so it's not like he can't contribute. I live in Seattle, and it's super expensive. I'm paying $1,800 for rent. What should I do, ladies? Like, I can't even get into all the things I've done and bought for him. I feel so unappreciated. Break up with him.
She's too young to know the song Scrubs, right?
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic TLC. Yes. Look that up. Girl.
He's taking advantage of you. You should feel unappreciated and you need to give him the boot. Put him out. That's not cool.
Ultimatum. It's like you pay this month's rent. You've been freeloading for this amount of time. You pay this month's rent or you're out in 2 weeks.
Or tomorrow.
Or now. I put your stuff out. Go ahead and go.
Did you see that box when you walked in? That was yours?
To the left. No, you gotta go.
Everything I bought in a box to the left.
In a box to the left.
I don't really have a lot of tolerance for that type of behavior now. No matter how fine you are. You gotta go.
That's not cool.
That's not cool.
It's not. I mean, like, damn, does he even say thank you? Jeez Louise. But whatever.
It's a different story if someone's going through a hard time, they just lost their job and you're helping them out, because I would expect in any kind of relationship, what you have to offer, you offer. And then when you don't have something to offer, and if the other person has it, they offer it to you, because that's relationshiping. But he's got a job. He needs to contribute. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, that's rude.
That's not cool at all.
Sis, tell us how this goes. Tell us how it happens.
I want to know. Okay, do you have another one?
No, I don't. I actually just logged out.
Okay, so that's it for the advice. Remember, if you ever want to send us some advice, email it to us. Again, the email address is askcocktails@gmail.com. But if you ain't got a buck, I won't cover. Spend 100 on me, it ain't nothing. Want a double D, so stuff. Back to the point. Is it some cash in this place? If it is, I'll probably stick the stats in your face, turn around. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. Now it's time for the last part of the show, and it's the cocktails. So if you would like to share one of your sexual confessions that you can't tell anybody else, or maybe you did and you just want to share it with us too, send it to us at cocktails.atl@gmail.com. That's cocktails.atl@gmail.com. So do you have a spicy cocktail for us today?
Do I? Of course I do.
Ooh. I can't wait to hear it. And I love when we start with the guest. Keep it fresh.
So I was just out of a relationship, a year-long relationship, and I wanted to celebrate my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how a lot of women have a fantasy of having a consensual gangbang? Mm-hmm. That's not exactly my thing. But I definitely have had fantasies where I'm like the Grecian empress or goddess or whatever, and I have all these boys in their 20s feeding me grapes and massaging me with oil and all this. So what I wanted to know was, what do you call a gangbang that's not about penetration? That's not about fucking? And there isn't a word for that. So we made one up. My friend Morel and I made up a word for this. I think it was hers to begin with. And it's called a saturation. So when there are multiple people focusing on giving one person sensation play, which is what I love, right? Like I love temperature play. I love flogging, spanking. We talked about that, biting, hair pulling. I love to have the oral sex. I love to have somebody whisper a sexy story in my ear. I love to switch between the sensations. I love to be tied up. I love to be restrained. I love to struggle. So sensation play, hot wax, sensation play was what I wanted. And so I picked 5 people in my life, 3 men, 2 women, and we did a doodle poll to see when everybody could be available. We found a time when everybody was going to focus their sexy attention on me for a saturation. And my friend Morel, who was the very first guest on my podcast, curated it, and she led everybody. So I created a menu of sensory delights that had appetizers. This is not real food, right? These are the sexy acts, right? So appetizers, salad, entrees, and dessert. And all of the things that I wrote on that list, on that menu, everybody who was there was welcome to do to me. So I could completely relax because there was nobody that I didn't want to do any of those things with.
What was on the menu?
Oh, wow. I mean, I'd have to pull it up, but there was spanking, there was restraint, there was oral sex, there was hair pulling, there was feathering, there was...
That's so cute.
There was the sexy story in my ear. I asked everybody to prepare a sexy story to tell me. That was amazing. Oh my God, that was so good. So at one point, one of the men was going down on me and they used the Enjoy before. So after they finished with the Enjoy, one man was going down on me. One man was caressing and biting my nipples. One man was kissing me and then occasionally telling me the story the women were watching. And oh my God, it was sensory, because it's just like when you have a 4-handed massage, you can follow 2 hands. You can't follow 6. You just have to surrender and expand into pleasure in order to experience something like that. And I'm always worried about taking care of the other person, making sure they're receiving pleasure, and they didn't let me do that. So I just had to receive. So they would just bring me back to receiving. I'd be like, "Are you okay?" They'd be like, "No, we're focused on you now." And that was so incredible. It was the most beautiful challenge to just receive the sexual and sensual attention of 5 people at the same time. Ooh.
And it wasn't even like you said, there was no penetration or anything like that.
There was penetration with a toy and with fingers, I think, but there was no P&B. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, one of the things I had on my dessert menu was butter melting on bread. So you just like drape your whole body over the person and just melt. And so I did that to everyone in turn in the line of 5 people as they were lying down next to each other facing up.
I really want to try having someone whisper a sexy story in my ear. I think I would like that.
Ooh, you've never had that? I want you to have that.
Baby, let me whisper in your ear. I'm going to tell somebody to do that to me next week. Okay.
That was a detailed cocktail. Thank you, Lila. Thank you, girl.
I also love to hear stories about people's sexual exploits, about other people that they have sex with. And
I do too. I like to see it if I can as well.
I've never done that either. So what do you do? You're just like, hey, tell me about the last person you fucked. Huh.
Or tell me, like, I would like, have you ever tried this? I want you to do this. And if he says yes, and I'm like, okay, so when you did it before, how did it go?
Is this a phone call or this is like while you're in the bedroom?
It doesn't matter. It's been on the phone. It's been through text message, FaceTime, in person. Or like if they tell me the story and I'm not physically there when they come over, I'm going to say, okay, so remember when you told me you did X, Y, and Z to whoever? I want you to do it to me, but make it better. Or do this different. I ain't really like that, you know? Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and because I had told Morel about that fantasy with the grapes and everything, she had me wait in my room, and 2 of the men, shirtless, came upstairs with these huge feathers and feathered me down and fed me strawberries, and then brought me downstairs to the space where the rest of them were waiting for me. And then they put me in a throne chair, and one of them was like kissing and biting my feet. One of them was massaging my leg. One of them was pulling my hair. Just, whew.
Sounds good. Okay. So next, do you have a cocktail?
I am going to read a cocktail. Hopefully I have a cocktail for y'all next week because I have a little spicy weekend coming up. Okay. So I'm going to read one. This one says, hey ladies, I absolutely love the show. You can call me dumbass because as far as dumbass attacks go, I feel like my situation takes the cake. Last year, I began podcasting and public speaking. As you know, in this realm of entertainment, you meet some cool people. Let's call this Demon Redbeard. Why are we talking about demons and voodoo? We live
Everybody's on demon time right now. We've been locked up too long.
We live in 2 different states. We met online last March and he was everything. Charming and handsome with a lot to teach me. Given he's an indie podcaster with some years in, fast forward to when he was hosting his live show in DC. This was our first time actually seeing each other in person, but no one knew we were talking. So during the entire event, we played it cool. After the after party, he came back to my hotel room and we had beautiful sex. The slow moans, the whispers in each other's ears, the dirty talking. It was beautiful. I started to like him even more and more and more. A few months later, we ended up seeing each other again for his summer live show, and that sex was fire. He fucked me so good. Hard slaps to the ass, choking me with both hands, shocking behind my legs with a wand. It was so good. This email could be super fucking long with the details to this situation. I'm about to list that. This email could be super fucking long with the details to these situations I'm about to list that define why I was so damn dumb. But to save time, I'll keep the spared details. In Atlanta, something happened at the after event my bestie and I hosted for him, where him and his girlfriend got into it because another girl had said that her and Redbeard were dating. It was a shit show. I had no idea he had a whole girlfriend. It gets worse. In the time after ATL, I found out, 1, he's married. 2, his studio is paid for by all the women he's either currently sleeping with or has finessed. 3, he was telling our close circle of friends that I was a groupie and he needed to be protected from me, while telling me how he wanted to go half on a kid and how I should move to his state to be closer to him. 4, he lies about relatives dying to get out of coming to events to support. 5, he recycles his nudes. This really hurt. 6, the girlfriend from ATL was way more serious than he made her out to be. 7, he's a fucking narcissist. 8, he's self-centered with his looks. 9, he's a fucking liar. I could go on, but basically that's my cocktail. Signed, never trust a red beard and a smile. That was a sad one. Dang, we need to get out of quarantine. I
hate that happened to you. That's really unfortunate, ma'am.
It is.
Stay strong in the struggle.
Stay strong in the struggle, because the struggle gonna stay strong on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now for my cocktail. Mine is embarrassing. So once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. I'm just playing. No, not. Okay, but once upon a time, I was having sex with this guy, and okay, I'm telling you this because it's important. I don't know what kind of diet I was on. I don't know. Maybe it's the same one I'm on today. But I was a little constipated, right? So I started taking fiber pills, and I was eating a lot of broccoli and some other things. Well, it turns out those things were making me very gassy. Mm-hmm. Suffering from a lot of flatulence. So I took a couple of charcoal pills because I read somewhere like that will help with the gassiness and soak it up and everything. And I knew this guy, I was going to see him later, and I definitely planned to have sex because that's really all we do is eat and have sex. So took the pills. We're having sex and everything is great, right? And I'm getting really into it. I feel comfortable. Like I don't feel gassy in my belly. I'm feeling comfortable. I'm feeling confident. Everything is great. So then I decide I'm going to ride him, right? So everything's going good. I'm feeling real confident because I only do that when I'm feeling real confident, real comfortable. The sexual intimacy is up here, right? So everything is great. I decide I'm going to turn around. I'm going to do the reverse cowgirl today. Then I'm going to bend over a little bit, right? Like forward towards his feet. Y'all, I farted so damn loud. It just came out of nowhere. And I felt like it was going to stink given what I ate. I don't know. I didn't look back because I was too embarrassed. I don't know if he had his face covered in a pillow or why he didn't smell it. I was holding my breath because I wanted to die right then. But he heard it, of course, because it wasn't a silent killer. It was loud. It was like, I can't even make my lips do it long enough, but it was a long one. Like if it was a continuous fart, maybe I can find a sound effect that sounds similar. He was like, damn, that queef was loud as fuck. And I was like,
So it wasn't stanky.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't smell it. He didn't say anything about it, but I just felt like it stank. But have you ever just felt like you're just so embarrassed and shocked with stuff that you don't know what's going on? So it probably did stink, Medina. He might have had his face under a pillow. I couldn't look at him. I could just hear him like I'm facing his feet. But that's what he said. You know, that's my story. Hopefully he doesn't watch this till the end. Maybe he won't remember it's him. Nice? He could have just been being nice. He could have been nice. Because I do think he's a nice. But I mean, we fart. Everybody farts. It happens. Like
when everything is.
Are you going to end this moment because of a little poot or big old poot? Is that what you're going to end it over? Now you don't want to have sex anymore. Now you want me to go home. You want your dick sucked? Doubt it. As many times as I've been embarrassed, I can't think of a time they sent me home in the middle. Maybe after, but not in the middle. But yes, that's my cocktail.
That was a great cocktail. Lila, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I apologize for my attire. Like I said, I just got back from a road trip. I am tired as fuck. I can't wait to go get in the bed. Please let our listeners know where they can find you. If you have anything coming up, now is the time to share it.
All right, babies. You can find me at horizontalwithlila.com, Horizontal with Lila on Instagram, Facebook. I have a weekly email that I send out, and I'm going to be part of a virtual intimacy retreat that's coming up on July 10th that has all kinds of things, including my workshop, which is 20 emotional release techniques, because I feel like we need that right about now. Mm-hmm. And also play parties and erotic massage and all kinds of stuff.
So all of that stuff, can they find out more information about it on your website?
I'll put it up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. And make sure you guys check out her website, her Instagram, the podcast, the newsletter, everything. And until next week, you guys, goodbye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Population. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Wait on the drive.